Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Saffy Sprocket. I'm your host, Saffy Sprocket, and this week we have the absolutely amazing Triumph Tiger 660 Sport, which I'm going to be reviewing, so stay tuned and we'll jump in. When you think of Triumph motorcycles, adventure sports bikes isn't usually the first thing that springs to mind. However, with its smooth handling and class-leading technology, the Tiger Sport 660 is not a bike that should be missed. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the features of the bike. So let's take a little bit of a walk around the bike and talk about some of the specs and also the price of it before you can join me for a ride. So we have the 660 inline triple engine, liquid cool and 12 valves producing 80 horsepower and well 10,250 RPM and 47 pound-foot of torque. So up front we have the Nissan twin sliding calipers as well as a Showa suspension setup. And then at the back we do have an RSU monoshock with a hydraulic preload adjuster. So if you do want to adjust your suspension, maybe you're going to be adding some luggage or you want to take a pilly on the fly, this will do it. So obviously we have ABS at the front and the rear as standard. And then we obviously have these very snazzy self-cancelling indicators on the bike as well, with a feature you can turn on and off. So at the front of the handlebars we have an integrated TFT display, and something that I was particularly amused with was also this bad boy. An adjustable screen. Now they do say you can do it with one hand. I'm not really strong enough, so I need two. Okay, so I'm just gonna start the Tiger up so we can check out how she sounds. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys, when this bike got delivered, I threw her in the garage, I made a brew, and then I came back and started her up to go for a ride. And I was quite taken back by the noise, I'm not going to lie. It's not that it's a loud bike, it's that it's quite rumbly. I think the best way to describe it is like a meaty kind of rumble noise to it. But let me start her up and then you can check it out and you guys can tell me what you think. I don't know the best way to describe it, but it's like someone took a motorbike and then turned the bass up and turned all the treble down. I think that's the easiest way to describe it. So let's start her up. Ooh, if I can get the key to turn. Oh gosh. Oh, wrong way. Now I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, I really like the sound of this bike and I'm a little bit envious, I'm going to be honest. It's not that it's a loud bike, it's just that it sounds really nice. It's a really nice sound. Now I mentioned this before in a few of my videos, I don't have an aftermarket exhaust. I'm not that fussed if I'm honest. If I was ever going to put an aftermarket exhaust on my bike, it would be down to appearance rather than noise. And if it was the case, I've always said, I would put a baffle in because I have no interest in being deafened. I want a bike that sounds nice. I don't necessarily want a bike that's loud, especially because I do a lot of miles on the road. For me, the sound of this exhaust is absolutely bang on. I want to enjoy a bike. I don't want to sit with a headache all evening. Let's talk about the height and the ergonomics of this very beautiful bike. So the Tiger Sport 660 has been altered to have a more comfortable posture. So for example, in comparison to the Trident, the handlebars are 40 millimeters longer and the foot pegs have actually been moved forward slightly. Now obviously we have a very neutral seating position. When I'm sat upright, you can see it's a standard chair position. Now the foot pegs are forward, more so than the bike I have at home, and the handlebars I've noticed as well, with them being a little bit wider and lower down, it's incredibly comfortable. I didn't get the same kind of pain on my back, my shoulders and my wrists that I would do on my bike back home, despite, touring for 200 miles non-stop. So this is obviously a bike that was made to do distances. Now the only thing that I will mention, which I was quite surprised, it personally wouldn't deter me from buying this bike, but I was quite surprised to see that there was no cruise control in it, especially with it being an adventure touring sport kind of bike. However, like I said, for me personally, that wouldn't stop me from buying it. I think it's a really fantastic bike, but it would have been cool to see it. So we have a seat height of 835 millimeters, which again, in comparison to the Trident, is 30 millimeters taller, which definitely adds to the comfort of this bike. Now, the seat itself is surprisingly comfortable and also quite narrow given the size of the bike, which I absolutely love. So I'm 5'7" or 170 centimeters for all you viewers out there, whereas the height of the bike itself is 140 centimeters or 1,398 millimeters to be exact. When I'm sat on the bike itself, I'm on my tippy toes, and there's no way that I can flat foot it unless I whip out the platform golf boots. I found that when I'm usually stopping at traffic lights, I'm often picking a dominant leg to balance the weight of the bike. However, after about 15 minutes on the road, I wasn't really consciously thinking about it, but it did feel strange at first. So if you are shorter than me, you'll undoubtedly need a dash of confidence when riding this bike if you're not used to tall bikes. Oh, it's amazing, guys. I feel like I'm just chilling on a chair. I'm not gonna lie. So on the front of the bike, between these visually stunning fairings and the adjustable windshield, you are quite well protected by the elements. Now, this windshield is certainly worth a mention because it's fully adjustable. Now, they do say that you can do it with one hand. I need to, but check that out. That is really, really cool. So depending on what kind of height you are and where you'd like the wind to be hitting, you know, it's that easy. So onto the underpinnings of the bike. So this is a bike that's been built for adventure. And again, in comparison to the Trident, we have a 30 millimeter longer suspension at the front and a 16.5 longer suspension at the rear. So the swing arm of the bike has also been lengthened, which is a necessary step considering this bike is 17 kilos heavier than the Trident. So in addition to that, the wheelbase has been increased by 17 millimeters, meaning that we now have a bike with a 1,418 millimeter wheelbase. And on top of that, we also have a fuel tank, which is 17.2 litres, meaning more smiles for your miles, although I don't think your bank account will be smiling, so mine wasn't, but we'll get onto that. Back to the suspension. You're probably wondering how that translates to the road. Well, I could explain, or I could show you the footage from my pothole hunting. So you've just seen that sneaky little road there, and it's just crossed my mind. You know, I've got the bike for it. That lovely gravelly patch, and I'm off to a few, you know, off-road festivals this year as well. It'd be rude not to practice. Let's be honest. Oop. It'd be rude not to. So, you know me. I am one for Oh my god. Definitely a fun bike for these kinds of roads. Oh my goodness. Should we go through the foot, should we? Ah, screw it! Oh my god, that was so scary! Oh my god. All good things must come to an end, and the petrol soon ran out, which was the perfect opportunity for me to find out how much a full tank is. It is completely empty, so let's see how much I get mugged. Oh, I'm not looking forward to this. Oh, he's on 7. Oh. It's on 12. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, come on. Oh, 20 quid. Oh. Ugh. Daylight robbery. Is this an expensive bike, or is the world just trying to mug me? So my experience of big bikes so far has effectively been dropping them. So when Triumph dropped this off at my house, I'm going to be honest, I was a little bit scared. And as a new rider, I'm sure a lot of you can understand out there at home, big bikes can be intimidating. So I was a little bit intimidated by the Tiger. But boy, did that change very quickly. So now let's talk about the engine's power. Now I'm told that this has quite a flat power curve. I'm going to be honest, I'm still not quite up on my bike lingo. However, what I can tell you is that it definitely had a lot of accessible power. So when I was coming to traffic lights, you know, sometimes I forget to gear down, sometimes I forget to start off in first gear. The bike didn't skip a beat, it just didn't seem to care. It didn't matter what gear I was in, it always just seemed to want to go. And it's the same in terms of being too low down as well. Even when the gears were low and I should have been higher, it still had access to that accessible power. And I just, you know, ordinarily my bike back home when I'm riding it, if I'm in the wrong gear, it will be screaming at me. This thing just seemed to cruise by, and it was just, it's so buttery smooth. I'm not used to this kind of luxury, and I feel a little bit spoilt riding her around. So I can see why this motorcycle would be extremely popular with bikers who are new to the touring scene, because it's extremely novice friendly, which is just my luck because I'm an extreme novice and I got on fabulously with this bike. Oh my god, this is so fun. Puddles are so great. Oh, my feet are soaked. Oh goodness. Oh my god, that was so deep. Oh my god. Oh, I think I hit my shoulder on that one. Oh my goodness, I just didn't expect the bike to go. So there we have it. I personally want to keep this bike. Unfortunately, I think Triumph would notice if I loaded my pink bike up on their delivery truck next week. So unfortunately, she will be going back. However, what a fantastic 2 weeks it's been with this little lady. I absolutely love her so much. I had so much fun. It's been really good. But alas, she must go home to Hinckley, much to my dismay. And now, if you do want to see more great bike content, don't forget to hit subscribe, because I do release brand new videos every single Sunday at 6 p.m. And if you do want to support the channel, don't forget to drop a comment, like, all of that malarkey. And I do have a sneaky Patreon link in the description below if you do want to donate a coin to the fund, which I will inherently use to purchase far too much coffee on the road. Now, until next week, my name's Saffy. Oh, so close.